My CEO tried to kiss me drunk at the Christmas party, but what happened after changed everything the moment his hand touched my shoulder. The room seemed to freeze. The Christmas lights blurred in my vision, the music faded into the background, and the smell of wine filled the air between us. My CEO leaned closer, clearly drunk, his breath warm and heavy as he tried to kiss me in the middle of the company's Christmas party. In that single moment, I felt shock, anger, fear, and something else I couldn't quite understand yet. What happened after that night didn't just change my job, it changed my life forever. Before we go deeper into this emotional story, take a moment to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who believes in kindness, and subscribe to the channel Brightly Kindness if you believe people deserve second chances and that one moment can change everything. I had only been working at the company for 6 months. It was my first real corporate job after years of struggling to survive on small freelance work and part-time jobs. The company was large, powerful, and intimidating, and the CEO was someone everyone talked about with a mixture of admiration and fear. He was known as a brilliant businessman, but also distant and impossible to read. I rarely saw him in person. People like me, the quiet assistant in the marketing department, didn't exist in his world. The Christmas party was the first time I had ever been in the same room with him. The ballroom glittered with golden lights, decorated trees, and the sound of cheerful laughter. People were dancing, holding drinks, and celebrating the end of a successful year. I remember feeling nervous but excited. For the first time since joining the company, I felt like maybe I belonged there. That feeling didn't last long. As the night went on, I noticed the CEO drinking more and more. At first, he looked relaxed, even friendly, laughing with executives and greeting employees. But later, something about him seemed different. His steps became unsteady, his smile heavier, his eyes distant. I was standing near one of the decorated tables when he approached me. At first, I thought he had mistaken me for someone else. Why would someone like him walk toward someone like me? But he stopped right in front of me. His eyes studied my face as if trying to remember something. Then he smiled in a strange, unfocused way and leaned closer. Before I could react, his hand rested on my shoulder and he tried to pull me toward him. The moment felt unreal. My heart pounded in my chest. My mind raced between panic and disbelief. I quickly stepped back, my chair scraping loudly against the floor as I created distance between us. For a few seconds, the world went silent. He blinked, confused, as if suddenly waking from a dream. Then embarrassment flooded his face. Without saying a word, he turned and walked away through the crowd. I left the party soon after. That night I barely slept. My mind replayed the moment over and over again. I was angry, humiliated, and unsure what to do. Reporting the CEO felt impossible. Ignoring it felt wrong. I kept wondering if my career had just ended before it truly began. The next morning, I expected whispers, rumors, or maybe even a message telling me not to come back. Instead, something unexpected happened. Around noon, I received an email asking me to come to the executive office. My hands trembled as I walked through the polished hallways. Every step felt heavier than the last. I was certain I was about to lose the job I had worked so hard to get. When I entered the office, the CEO was already there. But the man standing in front of me looked nothing like the confident leader from the party. He looked exhausted. His eyes were red, his posture tense, and his voice carried a quiet weight when he apologized. He explained that he remembered everything that happened the night before. He told me he had struggled with alcohol for years, something very few people knew about. The pressure of running the company had slowly pushed him into habits he could no longer control. But he didn't make excuses. Instead, he said something that surprised me. He told me I had every right to report him, every right to walk away from the company, and every right to hate him for what happened. Then he said he had already contacted the board that morning to step back temporarily and begin professional treatment. I stood there stunned. I had expected denial, arrogance, or power. Instead, I saw something rare, someone taking responsibility. Weeks passed after that meeting. The company announced that the CEO would be taking time away for personal recovery. Rumors spread, but the truth remained private. Work continued, and slowly life returned to normal. But something inside me had changed. For the first time, I realized that even the most powerful people could be fighting invisible battles. 3 months later, he returned. This time, he looked different, calmer, healthier, more present. The first thing he did was gather the entire company for a meeting. Standing in front of hundreds of employees, he spoke openly about his struggle with alcohol and the mistake he made at the Christmas party. He didn't mention my name, but he thanked the person who had shown him that his actions had consequences and that change was possible. That day, the room felt different. The man everyone once feared now looked human. Over time, the company culture began to change too. Mental health support programs were introduced. Employees were encouraged to speak openly about stress and struggles. Leadership became more compassionate, more understanding. And strangely enough, my own career began to grow. Months later, I was promoted to lead a small creative team, something I had never imagined when I first walked into that Christmas party feeling invisible. Looking back now, I realized that night could have destroyed everything. Instead, it became the moment that forced truth, accountability, and change. Sometimes the most uncomfortable moments in life reveal the most powerful lessons. And sometimes, the people we least expect are the ones capable of the greatest transformation. If this story touched your heart or made you believe that people